Future-Proofing Property Management with Stacey, Property Management Strategist. I have Paul and Wolfgang on with me today with the PM Systems Conference, and I'd love for you guys to introduce yourselves and tell us more about your conference.
How about we introduce each other? I like that better. Then I don't have to introduce myself. I'll introduce Wolf. For those of you who don't know Wolfgang, he is the process guru. He is the type of guy who will spend nights just working on processes. Many years ago, I got to meet him, and he was working on, this was when Lead Simple just came out, and he had switched over and working on Lead Simple processes, and he was just so enthralled. And then ChatGPT came out, and he's so enthralled about everything he can do with AI. If you want to have the technology tips before they come out, he knows about them. He's working with them. It's his love. Wolf is a great guy, a great human being, runs a lot of different companies. He works with Crane, he works with the Process Systems Conference, has his own company in the Pittsburgh area. He has his hands in lots of pots, but just loves helping people and doing stuff.
Thanks, Paul. Let me see if I can top that. So Paul is a recovering school teacher and school administrator, and he brings that passion for teaching to the systems conference. And that's where I kind of fell in love with the conference, because it was unlike any other conference, where large rooms, vendor halls, sit and get, you leave with a bigger waistline, but that's about it. The systems conference, when I saw it and participated in it, it was just, I could tell that it was different, and didn't know he was a school teacher, but kind of like, man, this is running like school, and been able to see that and being able to be part of the vision that Paul's created for the systems conference. His level of activity in the PM space has ranged from owning his own management company and real estate brokerage in California. He's now doing even bigger things. He's the resident broker for state of Nevada for Pure, and has helped with a lot of management companies getting their valuations and helping them to become better. Genius when it comes to numbers, and is focused on helping other people to become better and to help them overcome those mental hurdles that sometimes we have when we think that, oh, I can't do that because, and Paul's the type that will help you see that you can do it. So it's been really good being able to work with him and to continue on and bringing life to the vision that he's had for the systems conference, and bring it to the point where it's grown tremendously. So it's really exciting.
Well, he had a ticket bought today, so we are now officially sold out.
I was going to ask.
Sold out.
We are officially
really.
I have not had Laura cut off the funnel yet, but that'll be some point when I'm not so busy. So probably by tomorrow, you won't be able to buy a ticket. So if you're watching right now live and you want to go, you could sneak in and go to be 226 person. But yeah, we sold a ticket I saw today, and we had one left, I believe. Laura's the one who tells me the real thing.
Yeah, congrats. That's huge. What month are we? Just in September. Your conference is in January. I've not heard of very many conferences that have sold out that far in advance. So congratulations to both of you.
Like, there's one conference, one of the other big brands that always sends me free tickets. I get a free ticket to every single one of their events. We will be giving 4 free tickets in November to new property managers that have been in the business less than 2 years, with less than 150 doors. And that's just something we do every Thanksgiving. That doesn't mean that we're not sold out. Even though we're sold out, we're still
booked for that. Yeah.
Even though we did, we're going to do that Thanksgiving, because we feel it's really important at Thanksgiving to give back to the property management community. And we all were new at one time. And when you're new, spending money is really difficult, but it's so essential.
Well, and I think everybody watching probably knows who I am. But again, Stacey Salyer, property management strategist, over 20 years in the industry. Started my business, bought a business, scaled my business, sold my business to Pure National, did acquisitions on a national level for Pure. So I'm your acquisition insider as well. Have lots of good information on how to build your business so you can sell it one day, treat it like it's your biggest asset. I actually got to work with Paul at Pure. We had a really good time together. Did lots of conferences together that way, and just launched my consulting digital course creation business this year.
You were my boss. We worked together, even though we always treat me like equals. So you were my boss. You got to do all the paperwork. It was a great relationship. Stacey had to do all the numbers, and I just got to go meet people, talk to people, and do what I do best, and that's have fun.
Yes. Thank you, Paul. That's very kind of you. There was one thing that I did bad as Paul's boss. I mailed him a book, a real book. And every time I see him, he tells me.
That's not his gift. Books are not Paul's love language.
I like Audible. I listen to books on tape.
So now every time I buy a book, I think of you. I also use Audible as well. I actually like to buy the book and download on Audible. This year, I get to attend, or I guess it's 2026, I get to be a gold sponsor. I feel like I've grown up a little bit in your conference. I got to speak a couple times. Last year, I was a market sponsor. Is that what you call it?
Last year, market sponsor, and now you're gold sponsor. You were awesome. When you were a property manager, we loved having you speak. We're happy that you'll be speaking this year. You will be doing sessions with people for 30 minutes. She'll be doing sessions to help them for free during our conference. And with the app, you'll be able to book her. So I'm really excited about all the things because I learned a lot from you, Stacey. I think we both learned a lot from each other. I always say when you stop learning, then you're not a business person anymore. I don't think there's anyone that's like, oh, I have nothing else to learn. I've learned so much from Wolf, but working with you was a lot of fun. Besides when you asked me to read the book, I did buy it on Audible and listen to it.
Okay. And I know you still didn't even like it that way, but that's okay. That was a different time. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I did submit to speak. I submitted 3 different sessions. So we'll see what you guys choose. And I'm excited. I love being able to give back to the PM community. Over the years, I got so much from others attending different conferences. I really love about your conference, especially now being on the vendor side, is I actually get to talk to everybody and attend every session. I get to hear the issues going on right now. Even though I come from the industry, when you're not in the day-to-day, it's important to be among everybody who is. That's what I really love about PM Systems. It's still small enough where I can get around and talk to everybody all week. And you guys have really cool activities that we get to do. Even though I'm really crappy at bowling, I will participate. You don't have to be good. That's what Paul says.
It's not about being good. Like a lot of things are doing the Congo line, taking pictures. We are trying to make fun of bowling as much as possible. If you're a real bowler, I'm sorry, you'll still enjoy it, but we are making fun of your sport. It's all about getting different tasks accomplished. It's like going into the scavenger hunt and bowling, but the scavenger hunt means 2 people bowl at the same time and get 1 pin down. So it's not real bowling. It's going to be even more crazy this year because each vendor gets 2 lanes. We have a lot of 2-lane activities. We don't even put your name on the chart. You just bowl when you want to bowl. If we were doing golf, we'd be walking across each other's lines and hitting the ball while driving the golf cart. We would
Shotgun start.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about just having fun, being out there, and no one caring, no pressure.
It's kind of ironic that there's really no process or system to the bowling at the systems conference.
But our process is the lack of structured process. It's very organized chaos.
When you have 70 people doing a Congo line down the bowling alley, that is organized chaos. It's just
fun. So what do you guys have that's new this year? Do you guys have anything new, exciting, or anything that's slightly different?
You're doing a room upstairs, right?
Yes.
So that is a complete new thing. So companies will have rooms, super nice rooms. They have couches, kitchen, and then like a nice table. You'll be able to book 30-minute sessions with Rentvine, with Stacey, with Lead Simple, with other companies, and get one-on-one coaching that will help you in it. You can bring your team in. It's your company and whoever that person is. But that is something we tried it last year. It was one room and it was all these different tables. And the concept people loved, but it didn't work well on the app. We needed it to be like where you could say, hey, I'm going to 1062, and that's Stacey's room. And it's going to be labeled with your company name on it and everything. So that's something we're really excited. That's new. Everything else. Oh, the other thing is new is we got rid of the conference day. In the old days, we had one day like normal conference, and every evaluation I got, which I was like, ooh, I don't like the conference day. I love everything else. But we're like, we need a day where we introduce people and all that. Yeah, we're going to do that because when you register, you're going to get everything you need to know about the conference. So we have 3 days in 13 rooms now. The max we can fit in that hotel is 16 rooms, but we are at the point where we will own that hotel for the week. It will be all of us. So if you go, please don't make noise complaints when we're loud.
So I would assume everybody's going to be making noise together, no complaining.
They should all be there. They should all be there. It's loud till midnight every night because we have open bar till midnight every single night of the event with free drinks.
And lots of
water. Yeah, we actually have water stations this year, and everybody's getting these really cool water bottles because we want to be green. We're really working on the environmental aspect of it too. That is also new, the water bottle. It's going to be awesome. But Stacey, I know when I worked with you, one of the coolest things was you really knew how to hire people, what was going on, what people's personality traits were. And we had a lot of fun. You diagnosed me pretty dang well. And I was like, wow, even before you started working with me, you gave me these tests. Are you still doing a lot of that where you're going into companies and analyzing their staff, finding this person shouldn't be in this role because they're really good for this? That was a really big gift that me and Wolf do not have.
I am actually. So I work with people either one-to-one, and I'm launching a new, what I'm calling strategic cohort, Freedom to Lead. That's launching in October. So next month. In both of them, if it's one-to-one, we're going to map out a very specific plan for your business, but it always involves the team. It's always involving, evaluating who's helping, who's hurting. A lot of times, honestly, it's the business owner that's hurting, mostly hurting the company, right? Because, they're kind of the bottleneck or they're taking on too much. But also in my cohort, it'll be the same. We're going to use a 3-step framework, evaluating who's helping, who's hurting. And with my skill set, being able to really dive deeper into that person's traits, making sure they're in the right seat because it's the best for them and the business. Nothing is worse for a human to be in the wrong seat because they just want to do the right thing. They want to perform. They want you to succeed. They want the company to do well. But if you put, Paul, your traits were not really I think you were the more friendly and had the vision, right? You didn't have
a lot of detail, and I don't have a lot of work. If you sat me in a room and forced me to do something, I can get it done if I find it interesting. But if I don't find it interesting, I start to float into other directions. That's why I have a Laura. My Laura helps. Like I give the vision, I give the things. She goes, works and creates on it. Then I go crush it, dissect it. She goes back, works on it, and she comes back. So I know my best thing is getting stuff done, but getting stuff done with someone else. I have someone to remind me when I have appointments, someone to remind me when I have to talk to things. And I think Wolf and me are some ways we're very similar because Wolf is also he likes to create. He likes to create stuff and make it. But I don't think you really like to sit there once it's created and just sit there and make the engine run. You'd rather get someone else and have them run the engine.
I think that's why I like gardening, but then after everything's starting to grow, you're like, all right, let somebody else water it every day for 2 months. I would agree with that. For me, the excitement is in the ideation and building it out and getting it launched, that initial push, putting gas on the fire. But then once it's going, I'm not a maintainer, which does get me in trouble sometimes.
I think that got us a little bit in trouble for the systems conference. I will work really hard, so will Wolf. We both were going in somewhat different directions. We've had Laura for almost a year now. Been the area that what our weakness was is that now we have someone that vendors can call any day. People coming to the conference any day and get an answer. And I have 3 texts that I have to respond to her, how we're going to answer them. But at least I know that if I forget to text her back, she's going to remind me the next day and then 10 minutes later until we get it done. As a business owner, in my opinion, most business owners are kind of like me, Wolf, and you, Stacey. I think we are visionaries. We like to get stuff done, but we want to go on a path. And a lot of times we think we can do it best and we don't need help. I think that's the biggest mistake we make. So Wolfgang, you work with an organization where you help people. Stacey, as a coach, you definitely work with an organization you help people. And I think that people think, I don't want to spend money to get it right. And then they end up wasting money getting it wrong. And it's such a bad thing. I just look at my business in my first couple of years, my first 3 or 4 years of property management were pathetic. I started the systems conference, not because I was good at systems, but was because I'm cheap and I wanted to get the speaker to teach me how to do systems. And I wanted to divide it. And so it was 14 of us and we divided all the expenses. And I'm leaving and Jordan Wells like, dude, your conference is the best. I'm like, it's not a conference. I'm just cheap. And I got this guy to come speak and I wanted to divide the cost. And that's how I got started. But I knew I didn't have good systems. But once I learned how to create them, it was fascinating. I hired someone to do all my systems. So I could give the vision and that person went back on the computer. And I know Wolf is working on some insane stuff right now with systems because he's actually likes doing that stuff, but I did not. So if you told me create a system in Lean Simple, I'd be like, well, I tell David, and then David does this, and then I destroy it, and then David fixes it. That was my process.
The other thing that we're doing in my business as well is what we call strategic build outs. I call it my business brain build out. We're currently doing them on Monday.com. That's our current platform. I love the strategic part of it. I love sitting down with a business owner and saying, okay, let's take a look at your process. Let's fine tune every single detail. And then I have a teammate who goes in and will help build it out in Monday and do all the conditional logic, make sure the automations are there, take the different templates that they've had. Recently, we had a call with a client. It's just so amazing to be able to work with people and have them, we're presenting like, hey, this is your delinquency and your eviction boards, because it's very complicated, or can be, right? Those particular processes. And, they come off mute and they're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we've been needing and wanting in our lives. And in fact, the business owner then said, I can't wait until we're done with all the processes, because then I can finally step out of the day-to-day and go do what I want. And to me, it's just so incredibly rewarding to be able to work with people, whether it's one-to-one or in my cohort or doing strategic build outs, and honestly, just change their life for the better. It kind of goes back to that, like investing in yourself and investing in your business, what you're paying for that, you're going to be saving thousands of dollars and probably saving your sanity as well. Because
mental health.
In valuation, if I'm going to go buy a company and they are shittly run and they're just like god awful run, I'm going to buy them. Sorry for my language. I'm going to buy them at a discount. I'm going to buy them at as cheap as I can, because I'm going to go in there and put systems in and increase the valuation of the company dramatically. I'm going to charge more on management fees, because if they're really poorly run, they probably don't have very good management fees, because people pay what they get. I'm going to lose some of their bad owners, which I'll have an attrition rate, and so it'll end up being the other person loses them anyways. It's going to not cost me anything, and I'm going to get a good value. Now, you and me, Stacey, when our companies were bought, I was finally out of day-to-day. Like, I had finally stepped away, and I'm like, my company runs on its own. I really don't need to be a part of it. Our valuation for both of us, because we got bought within 2 months of each other. Like, I think we were like, I was November, I think you were December. Our valuation was much higher, because when they came in, I remember they said, oh my gosh, you have no work orders that are delinquent by more than 3 weeks. And a lot of companies have 6-month-old work orders. And I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't happen.
That's crazy.
And that's something that I try and communicate out there as far as my marketing, is that I'm teaching people to build an asset. You're not just building a job. I mean, a lot of people are, and a lot of times you start that way. You get into it, either you're a realtor or you own your own rentals and you just kind of start your business, but you don't build with intention. And that's where I can come in and say, okay, so you didn't necessarily build with intention, but let's get you there. Let's take a look at your business. Let's teach you and the mindset of your biggest asset. It should be worth way more than anything else you own. So with all the systems, processes, and people, it all comes together, getting the business owner out of the weeds and out of the day-to-day and living the life they want to live.
What do you find is the most common challenge that you're helping people with?
I think the most common is where people start without having a really good foundation. They know property management and it's in their head, but they haven't taken the time to build it with intention. It's been a lot of fun for me to join different vendor groups and talk to other business owners as well. And, for example, like maintenance is always kind of the big issue, right? You hear that all the time. But the groups I've been talking to, what I keep hearing over and over actually goes back to their client onboarding. It's not even really a maintenance problem. It's really just the initial client onboarding was the problem, because it never was set from the very beginning. Maybe it wasn't correctly put in the contract, or it was kind of loosey-goosey in the contract, or they weren't onboarded with very clear expectations. Going back in our careers, you're like, yay, I got the management agreement signed. You might send them an email, and then you're like, yeah, move on, right? So instead of having a really good process for it, like, here's our 90-day onboarding. We're going to teach you all the different things that we're doing. This is how we're going to manage your property for you. This is when you're going to hear from us. This is how you're going to hear from us. How do you want to hear from us? I would say the biggest thing is just the initial, you're doing the things, but you're not doing them quite to the detail they need to be.
And I think that the majority of property management companies their management is really bad. Like you think, oh, I don't want someone to look under my hood. We bought 75 companies. I remember one company, their management agreements were all wrong. Their person working for them put leases out wrong. One of the owners ended up getting $15,000 because the management agreement, he had stated, hey, I want to move back in 3 months. And the person working for that company sent out a year-long lease. You think, oh my gosh, it's only me. No, it was me before I started working on it. It was Wolfgang before he started working on it. I'm sure it was you, Stacey, before you started working on it. Everybody at that stage where you have 20 doors, you really don't need to be that organized. But the second you hire employees,
Yes.
you need to be organized. And then you'll blame the employees for making mistakes. I get this all the time. Well, those people from blank country are just not smart enough to get it. No, you have horrible processes and you're expecting people to read your mind.
Right.
Once you hire employees, you need to get assistance.
And I think where we're going to see a big shift too is actually AI. So your AI agents, your AI teammates. Yes, I call them teammates. So, now are they perfected? No, but those that are starting to beta and use them, the thing that I think business owners are seeing sooner is the holes in their processes, because AI isn't going to sugarcoat it. Now, if you hire an employee, especially a remote team member outside the country, most of them are like, oh, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to lose my job, right? Like they're just going to keep working really hard versus, AI is not going to actually talk to you, but it's going to mess up, right? But you know what I mean? So it's going to not work, and then it's going to be glaringly obvious a little bit faster. So I think those that are adopting that into their business sooner will probably benefit in the long run.
Well, there's people that are working on making maintenance 100% AI, where maintenance order comes in, it sends it out to the vendor, when the vendor bills, but they're not going to be able to do that if they don't have really good processes. You're going to need AI to look at quotes, and this is something that's not yet here, but it's going to be AI to look at quotes and be like, yeah, air conditioners should not cost $34,000. They should be between 12 and 14, and then send it to a human. If your AI is set wrong and your vendors know and they put a $34,000 bill on something, we're looking at a big lawsuit. So everything with AI just means that you have to have better systems. But when you have better systems, you're going to save more money.
And that's really what it boils down to. What I'm trying to communicate is there is no shame. I'm not a judgmental person just because I am where I am. I've been doing this is year 21. So I certainly did not start where I am. Let an expert help you. Let us fast forward your business and get it future-proofed, because that is something I see. I have a couple clients that are onboarding some of those vendors that the AI teammate or agent is handling all the work orders. But the challenge they're having is when things are in their head and it hasn't been like put into the system, it just doesn't instinctively know that if, in a really warm state, if you've set the emergency threshold temperature to 78 for AC, but it's 76 on a weekend and it's not work, or it's 76 on a Friday afternoon and not working for the weekend, to them, it's like, oh, well, it's 76. So the AI isn't going to pick up on that emotional part of it. But
I mean, and that's the big thing is, I think the biggest mistake owners make is being afraid to look stupid and to ask questions. If you asked me a question about property management, you want to call me and talk to me, I would probably chat to you because I love property management. But if you're at my conference or something, Wolfgang the same way, it's like, we want you to become better, because right now in America, property management is like below used car salesmen. They're not that efficient, a lot of them. They get us a bad rep. Sometimes they don't even know the laws of their state. They're missing renewals. So if we have 50% of the people managing on their own by owner, if we can just cut that to 25%, if we get better as a group, we're not competing with each other. We're competing with property managers that are doing a bad job, who are giving us a bad reputation because then owners don't want to go to them. So I really just think, ask people, get help. NARPM has been so great for me. I just remember the Ryan Birdies and all the people like that I would ask them questions and they'd be like, let me give you this document. The big thing about our event is we tell all our speakers, have handouts ready to give you. And all our vendors, we say, give them something when they come. So those people that meet with you for 30 minutes, you're going to walk away with 30 minutes of free support. I highly recommend you spend the money on a coach. And I would highly recommend that you spend money on getting your systems better, because the sooner you get going in the right trajectory, the more growth you're going to have, the more money you're going to have. It's really going to pay for itself in tenfold.
Exactly. Couldn't say it any better.
Agree.
Yeah,
Although
well,
I would throw out a word of caution when people are looking at AI and software. You don't want to be training your competition. A lot of these software vendors could easily flip a switch and now they're selling their product to the DIY landlords, and now the DIY landlord has the same tech stack you have. So it's definitely something to be mindful of when it comes to these AI tools. If AI is doing everything and I just sell it, who's going to need you? So really looking at how you can use AI to increase the value, not just make your life easier as a property manager, but how can you actually use this to increase the value to your owners so that you are building a moat for your business, so that you're not commoditized and gobbled up, the race to zero, when like, well, I could just do this myself for cheaper, or this VC backed PM company with AI, they're $49 a door, I'm just going to go with them. So how can you use AI to increase the value to your owners, using it to help predict the future, especially when it comes to maintenance and their net operating income, is a great way that property managers can increase their value in helping the owners prepare for maintenance items and looking at how they can use AI to analyze the numbers on the property, because the net operating income, whether your owners use that term or not, that's what they're talking about. And there's a lot of ways to do it other than just jacking up the rents. Because in our market, we're seeing rents soften and doing a lot of price reductions. It's definitely top of mind for our owners.
I do believe if you stick your head in the sand and say, well, I'm worth 10% and this is my price. As technology gets more efficient, the price is going to drop on what property managers spend. But that's why if you do ancillary income, then it's going to help increase your income, doing things like residence benefits package, owner benefits, having a cleaning service, and creating a carpet cleaning business. That's what I see the property managers that are going to, eat everybody's lunch. They're really doing they're going, oh, I'm making on my maintenance division, I'm making on this division, on this. And that's where a lot of our vendors will help us make money. So we also look at our vendors are really good at teaching us, whether it's Second Nature or Blanket or one of them, teaching you how to take what you have and make income. Like, we made so much money, and I know Stacey did too, on sales, because we had such good process and systems that anyone we are managing would want to sell to us. And we didn't even get to the tenant system yet. Before I sold my company, we got a few tenants, but my vision was to create this amazing sales system for tenants. We're talking like over $250,000 in sales. Property management is a great business, and it's a monthly fee. It's monthly money coming in every month. But don't sit on the fence and say, well, this is how we did it in 1990. We're going to continue to do it like this in 1990, because you will get pounced on. If you have a file cabinet room, which we bought multiple companies with entire room filled with file cabinets, and everything's on paper. Every lease, every management agreement's on paper. Every time a work order, it was on paper. You're a dinosaur, and the company is a dinosaur. Either evolve or sell your company and get out now.
Agreed. Companies, stick around for the next 2 to 5 years. They're not going to be worth even what they'd be now. I mean, because right now you could probably pick them up for a decent amount of money, provided they have the revenue and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I think 3 years would be generous, to be honest.
I was shocked 5 years ago when we were buying file cabinet companies. Like, seriously, there was one company, it was a large room, probably like 1,000 square feet filled with file cabinets.
Yeah.
I mean, one row after another. And this was a company that had way more doors than me. They also had an eviction rate that was off the charts.
Yeah.
So it's like, you really got to look at, if you're behind on technology and everyone's trying to find a lease in a file cabinet, it just blows my mind away if you do not embrace technology. Not only will it decrease your costs, it can make you money in a lot of other ways. We need to embrace technology and make money with it.
Future-proof your property management company. That's what I've been preaching. So yeah, well, this was fun. This was a really good time. I love talking to you guys. Now that you're sold out,
Where's the discount code? It's called Too Late.
Well, I'm a bit busy today because I have 25 people coming over tomorrow for a card tournament. So I probably won't be turning off the portal till Friday. We are officially sold out and we will be turning it off. I just have to get it done. I'm excited to be sold out because, when I brought Wolfgang on, the thing I said is our conference, yes, we do make money, but our conference is not about making money. Our conference is about giving back to the industry and trying to do something that, can, really help make property managers better. And that's one of our things is all inclusive. Everyone needs to feel like they're welcome, like that they have a spot. There's no little secret society in our conference. Like we want everybody to be able to do all the different things. And so it's such a small group, even though it's 225 people, with vendors, it's going to be over 300 people. But you feel because every room you're in is 20 people or less.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're just really sitting there with it. It's like coffee time, and you're sitting there and you're doing it. But if you haven't been, you need to go. We will be selling tickets for next year, the day the conference starts.
We sold almost 50% of our tickets the first day of the conference for the next year. Like that's where the bulk of the sales were. So, yeah.
Wow.
And then we sold another 30% of the conference on our 4th of July promotion.
That's awesome. I think that's a true testament to people really wanting kind of more that like smaller, kind of more intimate, and being able to actually like dig in and get some work done and talk to people. Going to the bigger conferences is fun, but when you're sitting in a room and somebody's talking at you, if you have a question, you're probably not going to be able to get it answered. Whereas like your place, you can ask the question right there. It's great.
And those people are thinking about, hey, I don't want to spend money to do coaching. It was either that or I was going to let it go because I was tired of dealing with the technology, with the marketing, with all that. And I was just like, it's just too much work for me. And so I could either at a conference that was worth nothing or I could give him half of it. And it was the best decision I ever made. I think it was Wolfgang got a good dollar out of that dollar investment. But like a lot of times you're thinking, oh, I don't want to spend this for this. Mm-hmm. And it's going to come back to you at some point. It's going to come back to you with getting the right employees. I worked with Stacey for a long time. I really enjoyed working with her. We were a great team. We had a lot of fun. And she really cares. I'm really nice, but a lot of times I say things a little too blunt. Stacey can be more diplomatic than me, but she can get you through the same route. So I just think that it's so important that people find help if they need it. It will make your life better.
Agreed. Well, yes. And I will drop my cohort info and all the things once we post this, and we'll send it out and get it slightly edited, although it probably won't take that long. And thanks for joining me. It's always fun to talk about property management, systems, processes, a little bit of AI and team.
Yeah, we are so excited. I'm just excited we're sold out.
I'm excited to be a gold sponsor, so it'll be cool. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time.